Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep on a really chilling case from the Florida prison system. It's about Rocky Ali Beamon. Not just a murderer, but someone who seemed to, well, completely transform inside. He went from a life sentence for one crime to becoming this self-styled executioner.
Yeah.
So our mission here is to really unpack the sources on Beamon's path. We want to understand that shift, from desperate addict to this moral enforcer figure he created.
And how his actions really blew the lid off some serious system failures, too.
Exactly. Failures in how prisons handle inmates.
Right. This is a story about what happens under extreme confinement. The sources show this kind of internal alchemy, right, where violence, being locked up, and this weird sense of justification all combined.
Turning him into one of the most feared inmates in the state.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the core paradox. This is a guy who actually said that killing certain offenders gave him, quote, the best feeling. Chilling stuff.
It really is. Okay, let's start before all that. Before prison, who was Rocky Ali Beamon, born 1977? The sources paint a picture of, well, instability.
Yeah, poverty, instability.
Yeah.
The kind of background we unfortunately see often. And the big thing for him, especially by his late 20s, crack cocaine, it pretty much rolled his life.
And that addiction led directly to the crime that first put him away.
It did. February 6, 2005. He and a woman, Karen Wilkins, were desperate for crack.
So they targeted Deborah Lacey, 47 years old, in Panama City.
Right. The plan was simple, in a grim way. Steal her car. Trade it for drugs.
But it went horribly wrong. The sources say it wasn't like planned malice against her specifically, more chaotic violence driven by need.
Exactly. During the robbery, Beamon restrained her, and she died as a result. They took the car, got their crack, but were arrested pretty quickly. It was all about the addiction.
He pleaded guilty, first-degree murder, got life without parole at 27. Wilkins got 30 years.
And importantly, he avoided the death penalty then. But this was just the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the crucial point. The violence he committed then was impulsive, drug-fueled. What came later, inside prison, that was different. Calculated, cold.
Completely different character.
So here's where it gets really, really strange. He goes into the Florida state system, and for Beamon, prison isn't the end. It's a new beginning almost.
A new stage, yeah. He enters this environment, Florida prisons, known for being tough, overcrowded, violent, with really strict hierarchies.
And he adapts fast.
He internalizes those unwritten rules.
Yeah.
And in that prison world, there's one group that's universally despised, right?
Yeah.
The absolute bottom of the hierarchy.
Inmates convicted of crimes against children, often called check-ins, they're targets.
Exactly. And Beamon develops this burning, obsessive hatred specifically for them.
So it's not just about surviving prison anymore.
No, it's a psychological shift. He's not just adjusting. He's building a whole new ideology for himself. Psychologists who studied him called it a mix of moral justification and violent entitlement.
Violent entitlement, what does that mean in practice?
It means he felt he had the right to judge and kill these specific inmates. He saw himself as stepping in where the justice system failed, a self-appointed executioner.
Taking the power into his own hands.
Precisely. In this place where he has zero power, he creates this role for himself that gives him ultimate power over life and death based on his code. It filled a void, maybe the one left by addiction.
And the really unsettling part, outwardly for years, he seemed fine. Guards thought he was cooperative.
Calm exterior, masking this resentment that was just building and building, hardening into this weird moral code he lived by.
He was just waiting.
Playing the long game, waiting for his chance.
And that chance came in July 2012, 7 years into his life sentence. This is the first prison killing.
Right. The victim, Bruce Hunsicker, 44, serving multiple life sentences himself for crimes involving a young child. Exactly the type Beamon targeted.
And the attack itself premeditated, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The sources are clear. He cornered Hunsicker in a shower area, chosen for privacy, presumably.
Weird.
Witnesses said Beamon was methodical. No rage, just focused violence.
Chillingly composed.
And the aftermath tells you everything. After Hunsicker was dead, Beamon just walked back to his cell, got rid of the makeshift weapons, and then
went to the meal service like nothing happened, blended right back in.
That level of coldness, it's hard to fathom, right after killing someone based on this internal code.
So when they questioned him, did he deny it?
Not for a second. Confessed immediately.
Yeah.
Told investigators straight up he targeted Hunsicker because of his crimes against children. Said he'd done the world a favor.
Wow. Justification, pure and simple.
And the outcome this time. Another first-degree murder conviction. But now the sentence was death. Not that it seemed to matter much to him.
He was already doing life without parole. What difference did it make?
Exactly. And his writings from that time, they showed this wasn't just about justice. It was personal satisfaction.
He wrote that killing people who hurt children gave him peace.
Yeah. An immense sense of peace. That feeling became his driving force, his reward.
That's the moral distortion right there, isn't it? Finding peace through violence.
It's deeply twisted. The violence itself was the reward. He found a way to feel good by doing what society deems bad, but he framed it as good by targeting those he saw as evil.
And incredibly, it didn't stop there. 5 years later, January 2017, he's already on death row.
Which proves he's completely beyond deterrence, right?
Right.
He strikes again.
The victim this time, Nicholas Anderson, 27 years old, also serving time 20 years for crimes involving minors.
Same pattern, calculated attack, controlled, not a random fight.
And what he told the guards afterwards, it sums it all up.
Yeah, basically. I have no fear of consequences. I'll keep doing this as long as you put these guys near me.
He was practically daring them, challenging the whole system.
Absolutely. So, okay, 2 murders inside prison, years apart, same motive, same MO. What does the psychological analysis tell us?
The key finding, he wasn't delusional, not psychotic. His violence, however warped, was rational to him.
Rational, driven by this ideology he'd constructed. Which brings up the big question.
The hypocrisy, right. How did he square this moral code about protecting the vulnerable with his first crime, killing Deborah Lacey, an innocent woman, just for drug money?
Yeah, how did he reconcile that? The psych reports tackled this. One psychiatrist put it perfectly. He has replaced guilt with a personal code. Within that code, he finds meaning and purpose through violence.
So the guilt just vanished, replaced by this mission.
Seems like it. He was described as articulate, intelligent even, but he talked about all his crimes, the first one, the prison ones, with zero emotional connection to the victims. Total detachment.
Like the addict who killed Lacey was a different person entirely.
That's how the sources suggest he saw it. He compartmentalized. The old Beamon was flawed. The addict, the new Beamon, the vigilante, was righteous in his own mind. His code ignored his own past. It only judged others.
And that gave him purpose, control. It completely overwrote any remorse.
And the classification. Fits serial killer patterns, doesn't it? But unique.
Because his hunting ground was confined, he was, as the sources say, hunting among the condemned.
Which leads us straight to the system's role in this.
Yeah, the systemic failure. Beamon's case put a huge, uncomfortable spotlight on the Florida prison system. How did this happen? Twice.
They knew who he was. They knew his mindset after the first prison murder, yet he was still housed in proximity to the very inmates he'd sworn to eliminate.
It's a massive failure in classification and housing policy.
Absolutely. The system is supposed to identify these risks, predatory behavior, gang ties, mental health, sure, but also these strong vigilante tendencies. Beamon screamed, high risk, yet
he found his targets. Easily, it seems.
His actions forced them to look at their policies. How do you classify and separate inmates with these rigid, violent moral codes from those they view as deserving punishment? He exploited a vulnerability.
He proved that even in max security, if you take away the fear of consequences, which death row effectively did, and provide the targets.
A rational, motivated killer will keep killing.
As for Beamon himself, his own fate, he seemed indifferent.
Welcome to execution even. Called it a natural end. But he didn't wait for this date.
No, June 10th, 2020. He died by suicide in his cell, age 42, ensuring he controlled the very end.
And his final note really hammered that home. He wrote, "There's peace in knowing that when I go, I'll go on my own terms. Always about control."
Always.
So, Rocky Ali Beamon. A disturbing paradox, isn't he? Killed an innocent woman out of desperation, then found a perverse kind of justice killing guilty men behind bars. Never took responsibility for Deborah Lacey.
Instead, he found peace and more violence, a study in moral drift, as the sources termed it.
Yeah.
His story really makes you think, doesn't it? About vengeance, about what prisons are for. We expect the system to handle justice, but he just took it over.
And showed how easily that can happen when the system fails to manage the dangers within its own walls. His legacy is really a warning.
A warning about how hatred, even aimed at the guilty, can just consume someone, and how the system can sometimes unintentionally enable that.
Yeah.
Which leaves us, and you, with this thought. When the system itself fails to contain or punish effectively, and that vacuum gets filled by an inmate's personal violent code, what's the real line between institutional justice and just raw, obsessive vengeance?
If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into more cases like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like the video if you found the story compelling, and share it with your friends and family who might be interested in true crime and mysteries. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with all our latest content and join a growing community of curious minds exploring the most fascinating cases. Click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything.